Hi, welcome back. Today we will be doing a recap on Love is Blind UK episode 6. So we pick up with Benaya and Nicole. They have woken up the following morning after getting to Greece and they have a fun little flirt. Benaya's out on the little bench outside and Nicole comes out and sits on him with a book, and they got the camera and they're doing their little moment. And Benaya says that he is happy to be spending time with Nicole. Every time you see this guy, he's basically just got a big ass grin on his face. So either he's just really happy in general, or he actually is happy to be there with Nicole because he has genuine feelings for her. Anyway, they end up having their first meal, their first date in the vineyard. So they've got a little meal going and they discuss being at the stage of exploring their physical attraction to each other. Nicole thinks that emotional attraction is important, especially for her, seeing as she was first intimate with a partner when she was in her 20s. And they both want the moment to be right. And again, Benaya has his little joke about no wandering hands. He seems to like butting that joke. Is she really that touchy-feely that he's uncomfortable? Or is he just making a joke because he does want her to have wandering hands with him? Anyway, Ollie and Demi. So Ollie tells Demi that he didn't like the fact that she was being so quiet the night before, and Demi explains that she was in her head and that she does sometimes struggle with communication, which we do see. Because it seems at times when she is feeling uncomfortable, she doesn't say anything. She will just sit there in silence, and you can see that she's slowly withdrawing from the group. So that I do understand. Ollie does say that it was overwhelming seeing everybody, and that he has actually chose Demi and that he doesn't plan on going anywhere. Demi says that she will make more of an effort to not make things more awkward, or to make things awkward I should say, when they are out in a group, because she feels that everyone is treating Ollie a certain way based on her behaviour, I guess. I think that's how she's reading it. Anyway, we cut to Jasmine and Bobby. The camera doesn't stay with them for long. They're gone for a swim out on the boat, and you can see they're having their little bonding time. Tom and Maria, again, they don't really have much airtime at this point. They're just talking about how last night went and how it was meeting the other couples. And then you have Sabrina and Steven. They have gone on a date where they're having a horse ride on the beach, and they sit down for a little picnic. And Sabrina tells Steven that she's excited to introduce him to her friends and family. And they discuss where they're going to live. Obviously, because they live in two different areas, with her living in Belfast and him living in London, this will be a good chance for them to see if either one would consider moving to their partner's hometown. So I guess it is a good trial basis, because you can see where you feel more comfortable, if you can make it work or not. Freddie and Catherine. So this is where things get a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. So Catherine is saying that they're on the beach as well, in some little secluded rocky path section, whatever. Anyway, they are out, they're chatting. Catherine asks Freddie if it will be weird to introduce her to his friends as his fiance / wife, and he says no, it will be fine. He has a small pool of friends that he does speak to. He seems to be more like a homebody, chills with his family, which is fair enough. She then asks about, doesn't he have any crazy exes that may be on the scene that will instantly hate her? He's like, no, you don't have to worry about that, it's fine. And he does say that he is head over heels for Catherine, and that at times he doesn't feel good enough. Like, Freddie, you are more than good enough. From what we have seen so far of you, you are a stand-up guy, you're good looking, you've got good work, a good job, you're not one that comes across as sleazy in any way. You're pretty genuine with how you interact with people and what you do. You don't put people down, and I don't think you make it seem like because of your profession that you have money that you're better than anyone as well. Like, Freddie, you are more than enough. Anyway, Catherine says that she finds that in relationships she always needs reassurance. She asks Freddie to trust her, and he says that he does, but yet when he asks if she trusts him, she says yes, but it will take her longer. Catherine asks Freddie if he has ever cheated on his partner, and he does admit that at one point he has, that it was a long time ago and that he regrets it. Catherine asks if he ever told the partner. He's like, no, she found out, and again he regretted ever cheating on her, and he's never done it again since. And Catherine mentions the whole once a cheater always a cheater and how she stands by that, and you can see that this has affected Freddie. Freddie just wanted to be honest. He didn't want to hide anything from her, which I think is great, because even in his confessional he did say that he is going to bring honesty to this, and he didn't deny it. He didn't hesitate and make you think, oh, like, should I not? He told her straight up. And if he, obviously he's learnt from what we have seen, because again, he's not giving us any impression that he has a wandering eye like that and that he's just one of them guys that's openly cheated. He seems to have grown from the experience and doesn't want a repeat of it. So Catherine mentions that this worries her a little bit, because in every relationship she's been cheated on, and she tells Freddie that she might struggle with this information on the outside world. I understand that, but at the same time, has he given you any indication in the time that you spent together that he is going to cheat on you? Did you just bring it up because of your past experiences, or did you bring it up because you've seen something that we haven't? Because if it's the former, why are you asking? Unless he's given you some indication that he's done something or he's about to do something, I don't understand why you're asking. And then it seems making him pay for the fact that he did it before when he's never done it to you. He was honest and he was upfront. A lot of cheaters would deny it and act like they don't know what you're talking about. But my man's being honest 100% with you in that regard as far as we're concerned. Anyway, we get to the next gathering of all of the couples. Freddie is concerned now that he isn't meeting Catherine's expectations, and things have now been different since she found out about him having cheated in the past. And you can see her whole attitude towards him has seemed a bit different. She seems a little bit cold, a little bit chilly. And again, why are you making a man pay for something that he done years before he met you? Why? I don't get it. Anyway, Emma and Matt Willis, they meet up with a group. They mention that how there's not long left for them to be in Greece, and that how when they leave, they will be going to their own apartments that's been set up by the show, and then they can start meeting friends and family and intermingling. They will also get their phones back, because this whole time they've not had any access to their phones and devices. They've been cut off from the world. Benaya tells Freddie and Stephen that he is giving Nicole time and space to decide when she feels comfortable taking their relationship to the next level, and that he's not trying to force anything on her. Jasmine tells Demi while she's hugging her that she will kill anyone that breaks her heart. It seems like these two built up a genuine friendship, and Jasmine is very protective of Demi, especially the way Demi currently is acting is very different to what she experienced with interacting with Demi in the pods, and she's seen that change. I can understand her being concerned. But Benaya is now talking to Ollie. They've sat down on the couches, and Ollie mentions that how at first he was a little concerned when he realised that him and Demi aren't as touchy-feely as how the other couples are. He says that he does sometimes feel isolated from the group, and I guess you can see that because when the camera shows the conversations that everybody's having, you don't really see Ollie with a lot of the groups, or if we see Ollie at all. Like, he may just have like a little one-on-one conversation, but you don't see him talking to like a group of people at a time compared to when they first started their little meetups. It seems that the mood has definitely shifted in that regards with him. Catherine now decides that she wants to have a chat with Demi like the whole next day. I don't know why you didn't do it before. You could have even spoken to her before, because heck, you could have even asked her like, look, want to be rude, I don't want to overstep, but do you mind if I have a conversation with, there's just something that I need to address. You could have even told her, or you could have said, I'll tell you after, or you'll let Ollie tell her. Like, it wasn't that serious, but the way that they've gone about it, it makes it seem like it more than it actually is, which I think again fed into why Demi withdrew so much while in the group setting. So Catherine says the reason why she waited to talk to Demi is because she didn't want to bombard her, and Demi says that that day at the beach she did actually feel a little triggered and that it made her get in her head a little. And they're also talking about how amazing each of the couples are, and Demi makes it clear to Catherine that Ollie isn't doing anything to make her feel bad, and that she was only quiet because she was in her own head. Considering we didn't see them really interact, so unless he has some cold shoulder moments that she reads into and says, oh, you know, maybe I messed up, I tend to agree with her, because we haven't seen him be aggressive with her or talk down to her as such. He may mislead her in conversations, and he may not be as forthcoming with information as he should be, but you do not see him demean or put her down in any way. He does try to lift her up, and we have seen him try to reassure her. You can see that when she's withdrawing, it's when she's actually with her friends and she's seeing what's happening. So that I do agree with. I can't say that Ollie has gone out of his way to make her feel a certain way unless he knows that his actions will lead to that without him actually having to say anything. But again, considering he's not really been mixing with the group as much either, I don't know what to say. Demi seems to be talking to them more than he does at this point. Anyway, Catherine says that she wants Demi to be the Demi that she knew when they first met, and that she wants to see Demi happy, basically, as do all the others, because I think they feel like she's not happy in their relationship, which is why they are so concerned. Because you'll notice throughout the rest of the episode, Demi does mention a few times that Ollie hasn't done anything to make her feel that way. The reason why she's acting the way that she is because she's in her own head. It's all her, it's not him. She doesn't put the blame on him in any regard. Anyway, Freddie is talking to Stephen, and he mentions how he's been feeling down since the conversation with Catherine, where he told Catherine that he cheated, and Stephen tries to reassure him. Freddie doesn't want Catherine to have a bad opinion of him. You can see how much he values how Catherine sees him as a person, and you can see that Freddie is not the same Freddie that we all grew to know and love. He does seem a little withdrawn, just like Demi. He's trying to be what he thinks Catherine needs so much that he seems to be withdrawing and suffering for it. And I don't know if it's intentional by Catherine, but it seems that she is emotionally and mentally draining Freddie at this point, because he doesn't know what to do. He's been truthful, and it looks like he's paying for that, even though again it's not got nothing to do with their relationship as it currently stands, because none of what he did in the past has anything to do with his current relationship. Again, he hasn't given her any reason to think that he's going to cheat. Yes, he did in the past, and I get you say once a cheat, always a cheat, but if that is the case and you stand by that, you should break things off then and there. Do not stay with the man and then make him pay for something that he did in the past prior to your relationship. So if you're standing by that, then pack your bags and go. Don't stay with the man and make him depressed and making unsure of where your relationship with him stands because you don't like what he did previously. That's all I've got to say on that matter. Now, Ollie sits down with Bobby, and Bobby brings up the whole thing that happened yesterday with the conversation that Ollie had with Catherine, and that how Jasmine wasn't happy with how he did things. And it's at this point that Jasmine sits down between them, and she basically asks Ollie about it herself. She brings up how basically Ollie pulled Bobby for a chat, and that it should have been him talking to Demi instead. You could have told Bobby after you spoke to Demi, but Demi should have been the first person that you had this discussion with. She also mentions about Demi being insecure, and that she may have needed reassurance from Ollie at that time because she was unsure of what was happening and she was already in her head. She just needed someone to just comfort her, or she needed her partner to be there for her, and at that time Ollie wasn't. Demi talking to some of the other ladies, saying that the only time that she has the tension that they see with her right now is when she's in a group setting. When it's just her and Ollie in a villa, things are calm and they are affectionate. They're everything that you're seeing from the other couples, basically. It's just the group settings that sets them back a little bit, I guess, because they're not too sure how to navigate that. So that's what she's trying to explain. But then we pan back now to Jasmine and Ollie having a conversation, and you might as well say that Jasmine was interrogating Ollie. Like, she just asked him straight up, like, are you feeling my girl? Because you need to be sure. Are you sure? Do you like Demi? Do you not like Demi? He's like, yes. Demi's the one he has the connection with. But then she keeps pushing. I understand she's probably not happy with his answer because she doesn't feel like it's true. Because in a way, she is a good judge of character, because based on just the conversation alone, she can see that Sam wasn't serious. So maybe she's seeing something in Ollie that, again, we viewers might be missing, or that some people have seen and I might have missed personally. And maybe she wasn't satisfied with his answer because she knows that that's not how he truly feels based on what she's observed of him. At this point, it starts to get a bit tense. We can see that he's put on his sunglasses. I don't know if it's because he wanted to cry, because that's what it looked like to me. It did look like that Ollie wanted to bust a little tear and he didn't want to do it for the camera, so he's put on the glasses. And you can see with his body language, he's visibly getting upset. And I don't think he wants to pass his place and be rude with Jasmine, because again, it doesn't seem like he wants to talk down to women or talk to them a certain way. But at the same time, he doesn't want to be pushed to like push how Jasmine was pushing him. And Demi appears from wherever she was and asks Ollie if he wants to go for a walk. He's like, no. Sensing the tension in the air, Jasmine and Bobby leave, and Demi has a conversation with Ollie. Ollie wants to know what she's been saying to people, because people are coming at him a certain way, and she explains, like, I've not said nothing bad about you. He says, yes, I know you wouldn't. If you knew that, you didn't need to ask. And you mentioned, you did ask her twice. I understand you're frustrated because you don't like how the conversation with Jasmine went, but you did ask twice. So you, in a corner of your mind, you do think Demi had something to do with this. Anyway, you can see he starts to withdraw more and more. He's getting more frustrated. And he mentions quite a few times that he just wants to go home. He doesn't want to stay there anymore. Demi was at first trying to get him to stay, but eventually she's like, you know what, then just, if you don't want to stay here, then just go home, which he basically does. He walks out, leaves her there. Everyone's surprised when they see this happen, and obviously there's not much happens that after that. It just goes to basically the following day, the next day. So Ollie does say to Demi that with how everything went on, it's making him think that being in Greece at the villa, meeting the other couples, it's not for them. He mentions as well that how neither one of them are being themselves. I tend to agree, because again, they're not their bubbly, chatty, jokey selves. It does seem different to what we observed of them before when they were in the pods. You can see there's a bit of a difference there. They do talk on them both being overwhelmed and that they basically can't wait to get to London. So we see everyone packing, they're getting ready to leave Greece, and Freddie is visibly upset. You can see he's upset in his face. He does look like he was moments away from crying, and he's saying that he hopes that Catherine doesn't see him as a bad person, because it seems like he's still thinking about the fact that she's says once a cheat, always a cheat, and it's starting to affect him. He just wants Catherine to trust him, and he doesn't want to lose her. Freddie, lose her. I think he'll be better off without her. Like, I'm not saying that Catherine's a bad girl or anything, but I just don't think she's the one for you. You're both very different, and I know sometimes they say opposites attract, but if you're already not feeling happy and you're already wanting confirmation and wanting her to trust you and saying you don't feel good enough for her, maybe the problem may not be you, it may be them. They're making you feel this way, and at some point it does seem intentional. Like, Freddie, you're either better off alone or find another person. I do not think Catherine is the one for you. Anyway, he does speak to Catherine about how he feels, and he does eventually actually start to cry. Catherine, she does go to comfort him, but Catherine, this is also your fault. You're the one that made him cry, so you better just treat this man well, because he's not done anything to you to make you feel a certain kind of way. He treats you well from what we have seen. Anyway, the couple start arriving at their apartments, and Benaya tells Nicole that there was something missing, and he then produces an engagement ring which has her jumping up and down for joy. He eventually holds her after she's jumped on him. And in their apartment now, Catherine is telling Freddie that the whole cheating thing is still playing on her mind. Please just let it go. Anyway, Ollie and Demi, they've got into their apartment and they feel comfortable being there. They are happy to be in their own space, and you can see like they both seem a bit different. They seem a little bit freer, a little bit lighter. Anyway, Nicole and Benaya are in bed, and they are also talking about a physical connection, and that apparently now their intimacy has increased since Greece. So I don't know if that means that they were finally intimate. If they are, well done to you. If not, still well done to you. You're going at your own pace. Benaya is happy, and he believes that they are a good match. And we see Maria telling Tom that how he is on the phone a lot. And Tom says that it's because of his job being a high-powered attorney, I believe it was. And that you can tell a lot about people based on the job that they have. This then leads into Maria asking Tom what did he think when he found out that she was a makeup artist. Tom admits that he was judgmental and that he may have had a low opinion of her based on the work that she was doing, which frustrates Maria. He does say as well that to him, a value of his is to work hard and be ambitious. Again, just because they may be a makeup artist doesn't mean that they can't be ambitious. She could be doing so much you don't know. Like, the makeup artists are used for a lot of things. It's not just about everyday makeup. It's also, she could be doing film or theatre makeup. She could be doing the over-the-top stage makeup. I don't understand. Just because it's not a role where you have to go to university and college for years to get a PhD or some high-level degree doesn't mean that you should look down on her profession and that she doesn't work hard and isn't ambitious. People have different ambitions. They go about things a different way. It does not mean that their job means that they aren't ambitious, Tom. So grow up just a little bit. Anyway, Maria at this point is annoyed that someone would judge her based on her work. She does also mention about not wanting to live with a person who she isn't certain of. Because if that's what he's thinking about her job, it seems, okay, they need to have these conversations obviously before they get married, but it seems the more things that they bring up about what they expect and a bit of their lifestyle, like, they're not aligned. There's definitely going to be clashes. Some of it is cultural, some of it is just what they prefer. But there is definitely going to be some obstacles that they are going to have to jump over, and there's going to be compromise on both sides in regards to how they deal with these issues as well. Anyway, at this point, Tom leaves and Maria stays in the bed and she ends up crying, and that is how the episode ends. So we don't know what the conclusion is going to be on that, but we do know that we're starting to see a few problems in the relationships, which is fine because it's not all sunshine and roses. There's always going to be tough times, and there's always going to be things that you need to work through as a couple. So this just shows how you manage to do that as well, and hopefully it'll be for the better and not for the worse. So that is the recap for the 6th episode. I hope you like it. I hope you will tune in for the next one. And guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and bye.